Pay rent or leave tonight. Emma Carter stared at her father. For a moment, she thought he was joking. She had arrived only 20 minutes earlier with one suitcase and nowhere else to go. Her apartment was gone. Most of her savings were gone too. But her parents knew exactly where her money had gone. For 3 years, Emma had quietly helped them. When her father's business was close to closing, she gave him her savings. When the electricity bill was late, she paid it. When her younger sister Lily wanted a large birthday party, Emma helped cover the cost. Now Emma needed one small favor. 2 weeks in her old bedroom. Her mother looked at the suitcase near the door and laughed. "You are 29, Emma," she said. "Did you really think you could come back here for free?" Emma felt her face grow warm. "I only need a little time." Her father crossed his arms. "Everyone has problems. Pay rent or find somewhere else." Then Lily walked downstairs. She looked at Emma's suitcase and smiled. "Just don't ruin my birthday party next week," she said. "We have important guests coming." Emma looked at all 3 of them. She could have reminded them about every bill she had paid. She could have told them how much she had sacrificed, but she said nothing. 10 minutes later, Emma stood outside in the cold with her suitcase. Behind her, the front door closed. Then she heard laughter. Her own family was laughing at her. Emma picked up her suitcase and started walking. She had gone only a few steps when her phone rang. "Miss Carter?" a man asked. "Yes." "My name is Daniel Hayes. I was your grandmother's lawyer." Emma stopped. The man continued. "I need to ask you something important." There was a short silence. "Do your parents know whose name is actually on the house where Lily's birthday party will be held?" Emma slowly turned toward the bright windows behind her. "No," she whispered. "They have no idea." The next morning, Emma sat across from Daniel Hayes in a quiet office. A black folder rested between them. Emma had barely slept. She had spent the night in a cheap hotel. Wondered if the phone call had been real. Daniel opened the folder. "Your grandmother planned this years ago," he said. Emma frowned. "Planned what?" He pushed the document toward her. Emma looked down. Her name was printed at the top. Daniel explained that her grandmother had never trusted Emma's parents with money. Before she died, she placed the family house and part of the business into a private trust. Emma was the main beneficiary. Her parents could live in the house. Her father could use the business property. But they did not own either one. Emma stared at him. "Then who does?" Daniel looked directly at her. "You do." Emma stopped breathing for a second. She remembered standing outside that same house only hours earlier. Pay rent or leave. Her father had thrown her out of a house that legally belonged to her. But Daniel was not finished. "Your full control began on your 29th birthday," he said. "That had been 3 weeks ago." Then his face became serious. "There's another problem." He showed Emma several bank records. Her father had promised the property to a wealthy investor. He had already taken a large advance payment. Emma's hands went cold. "Can he do that?" "No." "What happens now?" Daniel closed the folder. "If he signs the final papers, this could become very serious." Emma looked toward the window. Lily's birthday party was only 6 days away. Then Daniel said something that changed everything. "The investor will be at that party." Emma turned back. "Why?" "Because your father plans to sign the final deal there." Emma understood. The birthday party was not just a celebration. It was a deadline. And her parents had no idea the woman they had thrown into the cold was the only person who could stop them. 3 days later, Emma's phone buzzed. It was a message from Lily. For 1 second, Emma wondered if her sister wanted to apologize. She was wrong. One of the workers canceled. "Come early on Saturday and help serve food." Emma read the message twice. No hello. No question about where she had slept. Then another message arrived. This one was from her mother. "At least make yourself useful for once." Emma almost turned off her phone. Then she remembered Daniel's warning. The investor would be at the birthday party. Her father planned to sign the final papers that night. Emma typed only 2 words. "I'll come." Her mother replied immediately. "Wear something simple. Don't embarrass us." On Saturday evening, Emma returned to the house. The garden looked completely different. Golden lights hung from the trees. Long tables were covered with expensive food. Nearly 100 guests filled the yard. Her father had spent thousands on one birthday party. Yet 3 days earlier, he had demanded rent from his own daughter. Emma entered through the side gate. Her mother saw her and frowned. "You're late." Emma looked at the clock. She was 20 minutes early. Lily walked past in an expensive dress. "Try not to look so miserable," she whispered. "People already know you lost your apartment." Emma said nothing. For the next hour, she carried drinks and cleared tables while her parents told guests how successful their family had become. Then Emma heard her father speaking near the main table. "The deal will be signed after Lily cuts the cake." Emma froze. She looked toward the gate. Daniel was not there yet. Her phone showed no new messages. Then her father noticed her watching. "Why are you standing there?" he snapped. "Get back to work." Emma turned away. At that moment, a black car stopped outside the gate. The investor stepped out. But Daniel was not with him. Emma's phone suddenly buzzed. A message appeared. "Do not let your father sign anything. I found something worse." Emma read Daniel's message again. "I found something worse." Before she could reply, her mother pushed a tray into her hands. "Stop staring at your phone." Emma looked toward the gate. The investor, Victor Cole, was already walking toward her father. They shook hands. Emma's heart beat faster. Daniel was still missing. Then the music stopped. Lily stood beside a huge birthday cake while the guests gathered around. Emma's father raised a glass. "Tonight is not only about my daughter's birthday," he announced. "Tonight is also the beginning of our family's future." People clapped. Victor placed a black case on the table. Inside were the final papers. Emma moved closer. Her mother blocked her. "Stay with the workers." Emma ignored her. Victor opened the papers. Her father picked up a pen. Then a voice came from behind the guests. "I would not sign that." Everyone turned. Daniel Hayes stood at the garden gate. He was holding 2 folders. Emma's father went pale. "You're not invited." Daniel walked forward. "You promised Mr. Cole a property you do not own." The garden became silent. Her mother laughed. "That is ridiculous." Daniel opened the first folder. "The legal owner is Emma Carter." Every face turned toward Emma. Lily dropped her cake knife. But Daniel did not stop. He opened the second folder. "And someone has been taking money from the business account for 6 years." Emma stared at him. She had known nothing about that. Victor's face changed. "How much?" Daniel looked at Emma's father. "Enough to destroy this entire deal." Her father suddenly grabbed the folder. "Get out." Several papers fell across the table. One landed beside Emma. She looked down. Then her blood ran cold. The name on the secret account was not her father's. It was hers. Emma slowly lifted the paper. Someone had been stealing money for years, and making it look like Emma had done it. Emma held the paper with shaking hands. Her name was there, her address, even her old signature. But Emma had never opened that account. Victor looked at her. "You took the money?" "No," Emma said quietly. Her father stepped forward at once. "You see? This has nothing to do with me." Emma slowly looked at him. He was too quick, too ready. Daniel noticed it too. He opened the second folder. "There's one problem with that story." Emma's father stopped moving. Daniel explained that the account had been opened 6 years earlier. At that time, Emma was living in another state. The bank had security camera records. Someone else had entered the bank using copies of Emma's documents. Then Daniel placed a photograph on the table. Emma's mother covered her mouth. Lily stepped back. The photograph showed Emma's father entering the bank. No one spoke. Victor closed his black case. "The deal is over." Emma's father grabbed his arm. "Wait, I can explain." But Victor walked away. One by one, the guests began leaving. The expensive birthday party ended without music. By midnight, the garden was empty. The next morning, Emma received 23 missed calls. She answered the 24th. Her mother was crying. "Please come home." Emma almost laughed at the word home. When she arrived, her parents were waiting at the table. Her father looked smaller than before. "The investor wants his money back," he said. "We could lose everything." Her mother reached for Emma's hand. "You can save us." Emma pulled her hand away. 3 days earlier, they had thrown her into the cold. Now they wanted the daughter they had framed to protect them. Emma stood. "I will not destroy this family," she said calmly. Her father looked hopeful. Then Emma placed a bank photograph on the table. "But I will stop saving it." Outside, a car door closed. Daniel had arrived, and he was not alone. Daniel walked into the house with a woman, holding a small box. Emma's parents looked confused. "Who is she?" Emma's father asked. Daniel answered calmly. "This is the bank officer who approved the investigation." The woman placed documents on the table. The truth was finally complete. The fake account, the stolen money, the false documents. Everything was connected to Emma's father. For years, he had used Emma's name because he believed she would never fight back. He believed she was the quiet daughter who always forgave. But he was wrong. Emma looked at her father. "I spent years protecting this family." Her voice was calm. "I paid your bills. I saved your business. I helped Lily. And when I needed one room, you told me to leave." Her mother lowered her eyes. No excuses were left. The investigation moved forward. The business was taken under legal control. The house was returned to Emma. But Emma did something nobody expected. She kept the workers. She paid the employees who had nothing to do with her father's mistakes. She refused to become cruel just because others had been cruel to her. Months passed. Emma moved into the house that her parents once treated like their own. But she changed one thing. She opened the old guest room, the same room where she was not allowed to stay. She turned it into a small office where she helped people who needed a second chance. One evening, Emma received a message from her mother. "I miss my daughter." Emma stared at the screen. She missed the parents she wished she had. But she could not forget the night. They laughed while she stood outside with one suitcase. Emma replied, "I hope one day you understand that losing me was your biggest mistake." She placed the phone down. The same family who thought Emma had nowhere to go had finally learned the truth. She was never powerless. She was the person holding everything together. And when she finally walked away, they lost everything.